What is going on, y'all? Bobo here. And if you can see the thumbnail right now, you know what that means. It's the Halloween Ends trailer breakdown. What is happening, y'all? Man, we got Andrew joining us tonight. He just came through. What up, dog? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yo,
What it do? What it do? Awesome.
do what I
Awesome.
do.
Oh man, you look good, dude. With that, man, you got the tank top on, got bowed up, got the shoulders pumping. I love it. Yeah, dude. How was your day?
Same shit, man. Same shit.
Yeah,
Ready, same shit. Ready to quit.
Yeah, I heard that, dude. But yeah, is it looking good though? I mean, is it looking up?
No. The second job that I've got, or the company I've been trying to get a job with. I mean, they were really quick to email me about when they saw my resume, and and then immediately was like, I had an interview with one division and an interview with another team, and they were very quick to be like, hey, let's get you a shadow day going where you can follow around a rep and kind of see what the day looks like. And now they won't respond to me to my emails to find when I ask them like, what's the next steps after this. So
You
I'm
think they're just leaving you hanging?
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't bode well for the future. I mean, if this is, it's great if they finally reach out to me, by the end of the month and say, hey, we'd like to hire you. But it's like, well, why'd y'all leave me hanging for 3 weeks or 4 weeks? I mean, one of these interviews that I had with one of the teams happened before we even went to Galveston, which was the second weekend of June. So I don't know. It just, and my current job doesn't seem to be interested in moving anybody up. So, or at least every time I think of I'm getting a shot, they already had someone in mind. So they're just kind of like, like I even talked to a guy today who was actually very honest with me, and he was like, "Don't waste your time on that job, man." He's like, he's like, "I'm gonna give you some insider information. This is what they're doing. All they're gonna do is move one guy from here to here, but they feel like they have to open it up to everybody, even though they already know what they're gonna do. Like, well, I'd rather them not do that, but
Well,
they think
that's
they're
cool. That's
yeah.
cool. I wasn't trying to get into that. I was just, long, short answer.
Sorry.
So we get into Halloween. Didn't want it, people to be like, well, shit, I thought they were talking about the movie.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. Good. I didn't know you were going to start breaking it
We get
down.
our film back yet?
Huh?
We get our edit back?
Well, no, hey, let's just talk about this for a second. We're live.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, man. So Halloween Ends. Dude, the trailer came out today. Did you watch it? How many times did you watch it?
Half a dozen.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I watched it like 8 times. So, man, first off, I loved Halloween 2018. I loved Halloween Kills. At first, I wasn't fully like boom, like excited from the second that it ended, but within like 24 hours of it, I watched it the next day since it was on Peacock, and I fell in love with it every time I watched it more and more and more. And now, I mean, it's one of my favorite representations of Michael Myers. I love the whole pace of the film. What did you think about the first one and the second one?
Uh, I have Halloween Kills is more on my mind than 2018, but I definitely liked the feel of 2018. I remember thinking it was uh it was a darker rendition, but not quite as dark as like what Zombie did. Um, and then Halloween Kills I thought was fantastic until the end, when suddenly he's getting his lashings and his beatings from the town neighbors, and then suddenly out of nowhere he is superhuman. So and I know we've talked about this before. I if this is gonna be the end of it, I really want an explanation as to, is he supernatural or is he not? What is the whole? If they're really ending this thing, please at least do us a favor and explain some things.
Yeah, well, I definitely at first that was one of the things that was kind of bugging me about the Michael Myers, that all of a sudden was seemed to be very realistic in the 2018 one, and all of a sudden he's sort of an unstoppable rebel force in the second one. However, from what I've understood, he like is is, I guess, badly injured throughout this time, and the second one's going to take place like a couple years later from whereas like Halloween Kills took place the same night.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like a couple years later.
I already don't know if I like that. Like, it ended with her daughter dying, Judy Greer, the
Mhm.
actress. It ended with her dying in the room, after him, like I said, after him taking that beating. And then they're gonna skip a year or two. I'm like, what the fuck? It's already like, why do they do that? Uh,
Well,
I mean, I
I
get
mean, I think it's because he's so hurt and he just went into hiding. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that he's the unstoppable rebel force that we thought at the end of Kills. I think that he was just so crazy and maybe so evil that he was able to take that beating enough to do what he did, maybe go for one last kill with Judy Greer, and then I think he's going to be off and on it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of talk that we might see two renditions of Michael Myers. Like, we might see him get back into the jumpsuit and mask, or we might see a version of him healing without the suit and mask on, not showing us who he is, not showing his face,
mhm.
but like even at the end of the Kills, remember when he got his mask taken off?
Yeah.
You don't see his face. You just see this sort of weird shadowy silhouette, and it's like it was really well done actually. You almost see it, but you don't. Um,
Well, what do they call him? The shadow, the figure,
the shape,
shape. Yeah, yeah.
the shape, yeah, and she even says it verbally in 2018. So
Well,
I
okay.
mean,
So hold on. So let me take that back. I I think it'd be all right if they end it, if they at least pick it up where Halloween Kills ended, which was, her realizing that her daughter just got killed, and then maybe it kind of shows that he's disappeared, he's gone, and then they can show that a year has passed now, and it's the Halloween, it's Halloween again. But making it where it's 2 or 3 years after, then it's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Make
but
at least they can do is make this the following Halloween instead of like 5 years later.
and they might. I don't think it's going to be 5 years later. It might be two, but it might be one. Who knows? I mean, it. I don't think it's going to be too crazy. I mean, they might just make it to what they might even address the fact that because there might be some narration. I'm not sure, but you know how there was a couple moments where she was talking to Allison, and then all of a sudden she's talking to Allison, and you'll see like a clip of something else like that they're like looking at, but you'll hear Laurie's voice as the overtone.
Yeah.
Like there could be something her being like, and a year passed and nothing, like, and she was like, and that's how it started 40 years ago. The years started to pass. And you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just saying that there's a way that they could address a year passing. But I'm just glad that it doesn't look like they're making this a COVID filled movie or shit. I said the word I wasn't supposed to say, but I'm glad
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't look like the case.
There were rumors going around that they were going to they were going to include the pandemic in this. I'm like, how can they do that? Because first of all, I hate it when these films do that. Like, that's the reality that we all lived. You guys really have to put that in a movie? Are y'all is everyone getting so uncreative that you have to just put this in a movie or a TV show? It drove me insane. Secondly, um, the whole world was in this pandemic. So is the whole world going to be aware of this supernatural killer that's killing a 20 some odd villagers on Halloween night? Is that also going to make the news, like a worldwide news, or at least national news, because they never made it seem like the rest of the world knew who Myers was? So
Well, I don't think that. I mean, why would they need to know who he was because we had a pandemic? I don't understand the correlation you're making there.
well, it's just like
If anything, the pandemic was covering up a lot of murders and crimes because people were more focused on the disease, you
I
know?
mean, maybe, but I think you would still. I think that something like that something like that scene happening at the end of Halloween Kills would have also made some news with a pandemic happening. It's just I just mean that they've sort of kind of left the rest of the world alone when it comes to the world of Halloween, and Michael Myers is always this Haddonville, you know. So it kind of just makes me feel like they should, if you're going to make it seem as if they're in a pandemic like the rest of the world, well, now you're introducing the whole, now you're making it not just a, you know, one area of one area in the country that deals with Michael Myers, and nobody else really knows about the story. Now you're kind of expanding this world. I don't know if that makes sense. In my head, it
I
does.
mean, I see what you're saying, but I never thought of Haddonfield being isolated. I always thought of that Haddonfield was in Illinois, like, and Spider-Man, it's in a world where he's the only superhero. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, I see what you're saying, but I just don't see why that would make all of a sudden the world be aware of Michael Myers. Is what I'm saying, because there's still a true crime that I'm finding out about today. It's like, how did I not know about that shit? Like about a bunch of killers. Oh shit. Anyways, I don't think that that's going to make a difference because we're not going to see it. You know. Um, but I do think that this trailer looks pretty brutal. A lot of people were saying that it looked they were worried about it being soft. Um,
This is only the first one. I think we're going to get another one that's going to show more.
yeah,
Maybe not for another month or two, but I think so.
I would imagine it would be one like pretty close, like that. I hope we don't get a ton of trailers. If we get another one, I mean, I want to see another one. But man, if we start getting it shoved down our throats, I don't want to just see every scene.
Well,
But I mean, people thought that about the second one,
yeah,
and we didn't.
The Halloween Kills trailer. People were like, "Well, I don't need to see the film. You're showing me all the killings in the trailer."
But they didn't. I
You know,
mean, they actually that was just the opening
yeah,
scene.
it was a valid reason. It was a valid. I understood the sentiment behind that. Like, yeah, it's like, did they? But
Yeah, no, I mean, it really was. It's like you just showed us 15 kills. It's like, well, guess what? Like 30 people die in the movie. Oh, okay. Um, well, so look, what I really love about this one is like, and well, one thing I want to say about the other one, and then we're going to get to this shot by shot, but the other movies they were filled with homages. You know what I mean? They were
mm,
filled with just tickles of the other films. Just here, sprinkled here, sprinkled here. Oh, you know what that is right there? That's referring to this. And then I loved all that.
yeah,
So I'm already curious as to about how they're going to do that in this one. Um, Already we see the homage in the beginning with this showing this house. And I'm thinking this is the house that Jamie Lee Curtis lives in now, but it's creeping up to the front door, just like in the other movies. I mean,
yeah,
they did that in the first one. They did it in um, H2O. They did it in 2018. That, you know what I'm saying? Like they
mhm,
know what they're doing with it. But I'm thinking that's going to be Jamie Lee's house that she's living in.
yeah. And with that POV look, with the POV style, like just like in the opening of the very first one,
Oh,
the people,
it's
walking up to the house,
it's
like,
beautiful. But I've got first off, like, I'm not trying to jump the gun here, but I think that they've always said, the Akkad family have always said, we'll never actually kill Michael Myers. Now I don't know if that means figuratively, like we'll figure out a way to reboot him in the films, or like they did in the 80s and the 90s, where they actually didn't ever really kill him on screen. You know what I mean? Like they made you think it, but then you find out, no, that's not what happened, or something like that. But in this one, I'm curious just to see how they're going, because we know they're not going to stop making Halloween movies. They're not going to stop making Michael Myers movies. It's just too profitable. You know what I mean? Now,
well,
whatever form they do it in, you know
well,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, this franchise is never going to come to an end. But you could argue, I guess what Danny McBride and these writers and all them are doing with this is, hey, no, another director and writer can take this on and do what they want. We are doing our and how we would end this entire saga, minus these other trashy, below average sequels, upon sequel upon sequel upon sequel. We're racing with the whole fad. We're erasing those, and this is just, it's four films.
They
1978.
sort of started that fad,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah. So I think that's fine. It's fine to say that this is how Michael dies in our story of this saga. And 10 years from now, somebody else is gonna like, nah, I'm gonna do my version of Halloween. I
Yeah,
think
and
I think
I
that's
hope that's how they do it.
I think that's
I
how
hope,
I think that's always what's gonna happen with this franchise.
like, I definitely am curious to see what they're going to do with it after this, because with Rob Zombie's version of it, I felt like that was just starting from scratch. Let me just do the remake. Nobody had remade it before. And so I really did enjoy the first one. The second one was a little bit of a mixed bag. It was a mess at certain points, actually, but in my opinion. But this last one to erase all the prior films and to make your own that was original, to finish the story, quote unquote. But it's like, man, how would they remake Michael Myers again? Like Jason and Freddy, they're sort of like rock and roll. You can sort of just put a spin on it again. Let's do another one somehow. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. But I feel like Michael is sort of like a little more of the elite of the three of them. Like he's the most believable. You know what I'm saying?
Is he though?
As far as the first movie and even 2018,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
way more believable than Jason
As,
coming back after, and then Freddy. I mean,
as far as the first movie, yeah, sure, because it does show him as a little boy, and he's just a little boy who happens
the
to kill his
concept
family.
the concept of Michael
Yeah.
Myers is the most believable.
Right.
Jason, even in part two, it still doesn't make sense. It's like, oh wait, how did he grow up that quick?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're yeah. And then Freddy, of course, is not a believable. I get what you mean, but it's just when they kept bringing him back and bringing him back from the
Oh,
death,
of course.
it's like, okay, well now
Now
it's
he's
no
just
longer,
like Jason.
yeah. Now you don't want to address the elephant in the room, which is he supernatural or is he not?
So that's what I'm curious.
Where's he getting his powers from? Where's he getting the super strength from?
Are they going to really address that in this? Or are they going to just straight kill him? That's what I'm really curious. If they're going to let David Gordon Green and Danny McBride be like, no, look, to make this a solid franchise to where people will make it like, damn, that was a good trilogy that was a sequel to an original film. um, if they really want that, I think killing Michael would be the way to go. However,
Well, you have it called Halloween Ends, man.
yeah,
That's stupid if they're not going to actually end it.
I agree. Oh, look at this! Look at this guy right here.
Hey,
What's up, girlfriend? Thanks for joining. Oh, gotta get that. I'm clicking wrong buttons over here. So let's get through these shots now. So right
yeah,
after those POVs going up to the house like that, we start going into the stairwell. I mean, I love the way David Gordon Green films the insides. It's like it's got that 90s vibe that I really like. The inside of houses in the 90s, like in horror films, I just liked it.
well, it's a
But
great house too. It's not one of those cookie cutter houses we see, in modern day times.
yeah, which I hate.
Just like the house we use for Lake Court.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes, so we see this corner right here, and see right there, see on that chair in the background, that's her arm, obviously,
Uh huh.
and then it's turned around. And what I love is that she's been waiting for Michael, because then we see this silhouetted shot of Michael. Which, by the way, if this trailer is any sign of what we're going to see cinematically with Michael and being a part three of a trilogy, I think we're going to have some of the best visual moments with Michael in this movie. I really think so, because even from the trailer, and this being one of the first one, the first shot you see of Michael is it's just this beautiful silhouetted shot. And what I love is think about this. You don't have to, you see a genuine silhouette and you cannot see a feature at all. And you're just like, oh shit, that's Michael Myers. And the way that, I mean, that's hard to do with Michael Myers, because that's a face that could at any angle look like a face, but that collar, the hair, everything, it's just beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And right away opens the door and you just see that, and just like, oh, she's just like, let's do this, basically, like, let's go.
yeah.
And so right there, I'm trying to figure out something here. Her hair's a lot nicer than it
I
was.
was literally about to make that same comment. Like she looks much more put together in this. So obviously time has passed.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But even if it's a year, time, that's a year. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
People look different in a year. But what I'm saying is that with the shirt tucked in and the hair, it's almost like, and if you notice, they go back to this. Oh wait, I'll get to it here in 1 second. But they flash to pictures from the past in the trailer.
yeah, yeah.
And if you know, I'm thinking that there's a chance she could be like having this sort of like, maybe she's sort of lost it at this point, and she's sort of like having a seance, because she's got that pumpkin in the background. The house is all like dark, and that's a lit jack-o'-lantern in the background. I just feel like that maybe she's like all in. You know what I mean? She's just like, tonight's Halloween and I'm gonna get that. She's like, I know he's not dead, and I'm gonna get that son of a bitch here. And so, like, maybe she's like, I'm gonna get my babysitter outfit. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, in Halloween Kills, you saw her trying to lure him in. She was ready for him because she knew he was going to come for her. So it could be the same thing where she's like, I know he's coming. I know he's coming. And and she's been waiting.
But I'm talking about the hair on purpose. Like, I feel like, and again, it could be nothing more than just time has passed, but I just have this feeling that she's sort of like cracking a little bit, which I don't mind. I kind of want to see that because she's ready to go. I mean, she was ready to go in 2018 Halloween. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? She was
Yeah.
definitely ready to fight, but
I think
that
maybe the Halloween ends is not going to be him dying. It's going to be her finally dying.
could be.
You know, and I know we've already seen her death, but they're erasing that whole movie with these new this new trilogy.
Right, and we saw her death in one of the shittiest ones of the franchise ever made, if not the shittiest one. It's like the Batman and Robin. It's so bad, it's fun to watch. You know what I mean? Um, but what I really love is right away in this one, and I heard about this, but I heard there was going to be a showdown with her and Michael, like a serious showdown. And right away, it's like he's grabbing her by the neck right here, and just man, the way David Gordon Green has got that room lit, it's like it feels so dark, but you can see everything, and that just makes for a great. And he did that in all the other ones too. I just love the way it looks in there, instead of it
Yeah.
just being so bright or anything, it just like in the original Halloween by John Carpenter, some of the times it's a little too dark, but that's what makes it good. But this one, I just love how everything's so visible, but still very dark feeling.
Do you think
Uh,
it's gonna be only one showdown or multiple showdowns?
Multiple chor hey, I think we got a possible maybe 2, 3 showdowns. Maybe like 1 mini showdown, 2 major showdowns. Uh, I definitely think there's a possibility to be multiple. Um, However, it could just be one long, awesome showdown that like takes place from upstairs going downstairs to the kitchen, because he finds her upstairs.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm obviously you can never tell with trailers because the way they're edited together, but I'm feeling that this part right here is her and him about to have their showdown, you know?
I mean, for all we know, that scene right there is something that happens at the beginning of the film, and then it's like, hey, another 2 years has gone by. You know,
That's true. I mean, there's no telling what could happen because remember the beginning of part two, on Halloween Kills, we get that 1978 flashback.
yeah.
So there, you're right. But so, anyways, this happens. I love he's grabbing her by the throat right there, and then he's just like throws her across the room, just blinkety blow. And then right away, you just see this screaming of her screaming in a hallway. Who knows what's going on if she's just hollering for Michael right there, if she's just screaming because I mean, what if that's where maybe she found the daughter right there? I don't know.
No,
Her hair does,
her hair doesn't look like that at the end of Kills.
or yeah, you're right. I mean, but I can't tell. You're right though. Um, and then we got this person screaming. So that's another thing. Michael kills kids in 2018 Halloween, and he kills kids in Halloween Kills. So what's saying? I think he's killing kids in this one because the cannon fodder in this one looks like, look, you got boom, boom. This poor schmo right here. Because look,
That looks like it's in the sewers.
yeah, it looks like they could be like running. It looks like right behind there, somebody like hidden a culvert or something, and maybe he's trying to run under a bridge or something, like that goes under a bridge. Because look, right after, blick, ow,
Yeah, yeah.
Michael's got him by the neck. I love it. So I mean, again,
I
I'm
mean,
loving
it's safe to say
everything.
he's going on another tear, in this movie.
Oh, of course. And I want him to go on another tear. But I want about half the kills of the last one. And from this one, it seems that way. We only see about 4 or 5 people looking like they're getting attacked by Myers in this one outside of Laurie. So anyways, going back to this one, this person, then this poor schmo, like I said, Bloom, and then this girl right here.
Now, who's that? Do we know?
I don't know, but I don't know who those the other 3 people were either. So again, cannon fodder from what it looks like to me. which is fine, but God, the lighting of that is just beautiful,
Yeah,
dude.
that's cool looking right there.
Super, like she's all orangey and bright, especially with her red hair going on, and he's like cold in the back. Oh man, so
I
awesome.
guess you know what I mean by who is that is I'm just wondering, do you can there be any more callbacks to the 1978 film, or did all those town people die?
What do you mean? Did all those people die? Meaning like the characters themselves in the movie or the
Yeah,
actors?
yeah. I mean, it showed Tommy, you know, as an adult
Right.
man, and he got killed.
Well, and then Lindsay's still in it. Like she was in it and she didn't get killed,
Yeah, okay,
right?
so she back?
Maybe, but that wasn't her.
Right, right.
But I mean, she might be. I mean, I don't know why she wouldn't. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, she didn't get killed in the last one. They find her, right? Or no, wait. Did she get killed? That's hard for me. Somebody answer if anybody's watching, if you can remember. Did Lindsay die in Halloween Kills? I'm pretty sure she didn't because they found her. She's rolling. They get attacked in the SUV. They go down by the Ferris wheel and they attack all those and they find the kids. And then they realize that Michael's killed the one with the skull on.
Yeah, yeah,
And then they have the showdown there in the car. And then she runs down in the water. And then Tommy finds her later.
yeah.
And then they go back to the hospital. So I don't think she died. I think she survived. So yeah, she might be in this next one coming up, which that would be cool. So there's a chance that we might have like maybe a death that's sort of like, oh no, a little tragic death moment.
Well, it's gotta
Um,
come back full circle, you know?
oh hey, full circle.
Dang.
What you think about this? What full
What?
circle? What? Yeah, I get to that in a second. But so anyways, yeah, this girl right here, boom. I hope she gets it. I hope it's a brutal one. But then, like I said, they do these flashbacks to this. They do this one, which is also from the original film. This one, which is from the 2018. This one, which is from the original. So they're obviously doing this comparison deal, like bringing it back to the first.
Yeah, mhm,
This is from them at the end of 2018.
yep,
Obviously, to him, the beginning of Kills. And then it jumps back to her at the beginning of Halloween 1978.
yep,
So, I mean, and then this is her at the end of 2018. So, I mean, they're jumping all over the saga, trying to give you that feeling of like, oh, here, they're addressing everything. And Cody said that she's alive. Yeah, that's what I remembered. I don't know why I was drawing a blank. I've seen that movie 1,000 times. So with that being said, like I said, them covering the saga about just going through these pictures, boom, 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 and then it's just like this year, their saga ends. So, I mean,
does it?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it going to end or not? But if it doesn't end, it just better be a damn good reason why they decide to leave it open ended. Obviously, it's going to end for Jamie Lee. I think at this point, even if I was her, I'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
enough is enough already. I mean, it's been how many years,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I said a minute ago, maybe the Halloween ends part of the title is that her character is finally going to die.
I wouldn't mind that.
It ends for her. It doesn't end for Michael. You
I
know,
wouldn't mind that.
who
I
knows?
would be perfectly fine with that happening. Um, but I gotta say, it would be. I mean, what would you do if this movie ended on just a terrible note? And I don't mean like bad filmmaking. I mean like no happiness. Like, remember, like you Tommy at the end of Halloween Kills, you're like, oh shit, Tommy gets, and especially on the director's cut, dude, he gets bashed, man. I mean, he gets jacked up by Michael.
You mean like someone stepping on a head and it squashes like a pumpkin?
No, he bashes him with the bat, and then he stabs him with the bat. So, like in the regular one, he just hits him with the bat one time, and then
Yeah.
and then you just see him standing above him after he
Oh,
stabbed,
and the director's cut, the bat breaks and he stabs him with
and
it.
he stabs him with it hardcore, and it's awesome, dude. Yeah, so it's just like, ugh. um,
I mean, I would be okay with the ending. I mean, I don't think.
you see that comment there by Cody?
Yeah.
Maybe. Didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying I don't think that I don't think it has to end. I don't think it has to end on any happy note. I mean, I would not imagine it's going to.
I mean, I'm not even talking about like cliffhanger unhappy note. I'm talking about like it clearly Michael wins, and whatever he was trying to do, he succeeded. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
and nobody's happy.
so I don't know if it was you or if it was just me and you in discussions, but one of the things that came up for at the end of of Halloween Kills, where it kind of came off. It made it seem as if the only thing he wants to do is go back home and be in his room. Okay,
Mhm.
'cause maybe like a childlike mind, if you will. And
Right.
so maybe the end of this could simply be he has finally killed Jamie Lee. There's no one else that he is interested in trying to kill, and it ends with him just staring out that fucking window, and it just ends. That
Um,
see, so you're leaving it open ended because he's not dead, but his work is done.
yeah, no, I mean
Mhm.
that's true. He's gotten back where he wants to be. He's there, and the thing is wouldn't people still be coming after him, or is he gonna? That's okay. So he can't. People were like, "Where's Michael?" Right? He's disappeared for a little while. Now he starts attacking again on Halloween night. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen in this movie.
Mhm.
And are they going to put it? Are people going to be like on the hunt for Michael again? You know, are we going to have a town rioting?
That's the big thing. That's the big question. Like, can you really call it? Can you really end this if you don't have him dead? But again, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to theorize with this because of what we've seen in the past. But you know, if you would have told me 2018 Halloween from only seeing that movie, I would have never thought they were going to go the evil route, but they did. However, I think they're backing off in this movie a little bit, but maybe not. Moving on to the next shot, though. Again, beautifully lit shot right here. Okay, Allison, this is like a move-in shot on her. You know, it's a nice little. It's like she's clearly pissed off. Her mom and dad are both dead. Think about that. That's something that I didn't really. When Judy Greer's dying in the second one, I knew that her dad was dead in the first one, but at the end of the second one, I'm really more thinking about poor Jamie Lee just lost her daughter.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about Allison. It's like, but if you think about it, it's like Allison's got a jacked up life now, dude. Both of her parents have been killed by Michael Myers. So in a way, why wouldn't she be maybe she's gonna be the one going super rogue in this one. And maybe they team up. Maybe Lori and her on the same page. You know, I would like that.
Well, I think it's one of those things where she's finally witnessed it herself. So there's no longer like, oh, my grandma's freaking crazy. She thinks there's a boogeyman after. Like nope. She's witnessed it and she knows it's real, and now she has no choice but to team up. Kind of the
Yeah.
same thing. Kind of thing with the H2O. Like which we're supposed to ignore. I understand, but I'm just saying that Josh Hartnett played her son in that, and he didn't. I mean, only once he sees this is actually a real thing, does he realize
And
like,
he's like, all right, well, let's get this asshole.
yeah,
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it could be something totally like that. Um, I tell you what, though, I do like the more and more I watch those, um, the 2018 End Kills, I really like Allison, like as an actor and her character. I definitely dig it.
no,
And look, Gage Smith says, Halloween time come. You damn right, Halloween time come. Um, but I really do like Allison. I think that she's a good actor. I like her. Man, I really just like all the characters in that what they've laid out in this trilogy. Like everybody's somebody. There's nobody that you're like, oh, get that person out of here. Like Sheriff Brackett. I mean, excuse me, Sheriff Hawkins. You know, he's with Will Patton playing him.
oh yeah, yeah,
You know, you really care about his character, and I will get to some of the shots of him in here in just a second. In fact, we need to get back to some of these shots. So there's Allison, and then there he is,
yep.
Hawkins, right there. Look, I mean, obviously, he's invested in this now. We got to get this. He's responsible in a way for Michael being alive.
Yeah, because that flashback, that scene in '78, which was not a scene that was real. Like they kind of they created that scene to make it seem like it was, But he was what it something like he had a chance to shoot him and he didn't, or
Donald Pleasance was about to shoot him, and he came behind him and he stopped him. I think the Donald Pleasance character was about to.
Yep.
Donald Pleasance is standing over him again, and he's walking out there, and they have Michael in the yard, and Donald Pleasance is the character and
Yep.
I'm talking about in Halloween Kills,
Yeah. Yeah.
the fake Donald Pleasance. And then I think Hawkins stops him.
Is that what it was?
I'm almost positive. Um, look it up.
No.
Just I'm pretty sure that's what. But I mean, I think because what happened is he's like, I'd already killed one man tonight because he's upstairs and Michael's downstairs, and so Hawkins runs downstairs, and there he's like, once he runs out there, you see Michael just standing in the yard. Anyways, he
Mm,
tells the story later on, but he when I saw that in Halloween Kills, I was kind of like, so they're creating this story with Hawkins now, maybe for this sequel, but rewatching the 2018 version, you remember the crazy doctor who is obsessed with Michael in that one,
yeah.
who becomes a
Yeah.
bad guy, which I like that. I kind of like that edge as well, but he mentions that whole thing. He starts talking about it because when Laurie and the crazy doctor and Will Patton Hawkins all meet up, and it's right after the bus crash, and the doctor's arms all beat up and everything, and Laurie sees the new doctor. She's like, "Oh, you're the new Loomis." And then he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're Laurie," and he's like, "Oh, Sheriff Hawkins." And then he starts explaining to Laurie how Hawkins could have killed him, but he didn't.
Mm,
So they plant that in the first one, and then when they do it in the second one, it just makes it all much more cohesive if you rewatch them
yeah.
together. I was really just makes me love it more.
And that is a very creative thing to do. I really dug that whole recreating moments of 1978 that you didn't see before. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, at the only time you don't see Michael traveling in between most of the time in the original movie, you just see him when he's at the houses. So that was very clever, kind of like that short film that we watched. Um,
Yeah.
so anyways, going back, oh, there's where it looks like old girl gets killed by Michael Myers, that redhead.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And then so right here, this looks like him killing the kid in the sewer. That's what it looks like to me. But this is one of those other shots I'm talking about, dude. I mean, God, that's just menacing.
Man.
It's just right, dude. Because if it was any more lit, it wouldn't be as menacing as it is because you can barely see his face, but you can
Yeah.
make it out
Hey,
totally.
hey, if you superimpose a house in the back that looks like a certain poster,
Oh, what?
so that if you were to turn that into a almost like a drawing with and put a house behind it, it kind of looks like what we were going for with Lake Court.
Oh, wait, what? Wait, did you say? Sorry, I was trying to do that earlier when you were saying it, but I was trying to flicker it, but I would, always technical difficulties. Yes, you're right about that though. No, it definitely. I mean, and look, let's face it, dude. When it comes to our short film, I'm giving homages from in every single way that I can think of, whether it be music, whether it be something in the back, or whether it be this or
Oh
I'm trying to give homages to all three of
well,
our the
both of
films.
us, we did it intentionally. I mean, we gave we gave we gave the lead actress the code to get in the house is 1978.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I was just referring.
That's right there.
Yeah, super on the nose. And I was just referring to the what I'm editing and stuff like that, my music and stuff I'm putting with it. Yeah, even the
Oh yeah.
script.
Oh well,
You
your score is very much Halloween influenced. You know, all the piano. You
and
know.
on top of what you've written in there as far as the dialogue here and there, I mean, it's really it's wound up with a lot of simple homages but great homages. And so I mean, yeah, did we get the killer idea slightly from that? Yeah. Did we get it slightly from Scream? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get it slightly from other things? Yeah. But, stealing from artists, that's what we do. That's what everybody needs to do. What does this guy say? He says, "Oh, damn, I missed the ESPYs." Well, go watch them. That's hilarious. I wonder how many drinks he's in because at some point he like at first Cody starts like saying some cool stuff like and contributing to what we're talking about, and then later on he starts putting in this kind of stuff. Classic. Yeah, I'm sure he'll tell us if he's had any at all.
Oh,
Um,
that fool's drinking. You kidding me?
oh
He's
yes,
probably drinking one of these right here. Maybe not the same whiskey, but
I'm drinking a Black Cherry American Clear.
that's right.
Well, so moving on to some more shots after this beautiful one right here of Michael in the gazing dusk. Then we got Allison screaming. So I'm wondering who she's going to find. She's going to find somebody right there to be screaming like that, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah.
Is it
Right
going to
there,
be?
right, I
Is
mean,
it
right there,
Laurie?
it looks like it's a front door that she's at too. So it's like a
Is it?
walking in the front door and then seeing something.
Do you think it's Laurie?
Maybe, man. Maybe shit. Yeah, I mean, it could be that she walks in the middle of a fight, or maybe I don't know, man.
Okay, so what about this?
Super
What about
theories.
this? Does Laurie die early on, and the rest of the movie's Allison, and she just kills him finally?
Oh, I'm gonna be pissed if that happens. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be pissed. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm not gonna be mad if Lori dies. I think that might be the proper way to end it. To be honest,
she looks
but
like she's in
you
the.
can't have her die. You can't have her die the first 20-30 minutes of it, man. I mean, that's like killing. That's like a Nev Campbell in Scream 7 or Scream whatever, and she dies in the first 30 minutes, and then it's about someone finally ending the whole thing.
I
It
wouldn't. I
work.
wouldn't mind it if it's a. Okay, this is going to be a funny comparison. Uh, oh yeah, Cody says he never drinks. You got the cheers emojis. Uh, this is going to be a funny comparison, but G.I. Joe Retaliation, the second one that had The Rock and Bruce Willis and Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum's on the cover, everything. And then in the first like 25, 30 minutes, he gets killed. So the rest of the movie is more about The Rock and Bruce Willis, but they didn't advertise it necessarily that way. But the one saving grace is same thing happened with Executive Decision with Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell. Steven
Oh,
Seagal gets killed like in the first 10 minutes.
yeah, I do remember that.
So, but the saving grace about um, the G.I. Joe 2 one is that they actually get you wrapped up into The Rock and Channing Tatum's relationship, kind of. Like you're actually thinking, all right, the movie's sailing, and then there's this kind of epic showdown in this battle that happens to where Channing Tatum like gives his life. And it makes it to where it's like if you wanted to get him out of there, and actually what it was is Channing Tatum wanted out of it. But if he
Bro,
if
I'm
he
not gonna see GI Joe. You're not gonna try and make me.
no, no, no.
You're
What
not
I'm
gonna
I'm
drag.
I'm not trying to sell it. What I'm saying is that it was epic enough to where it was okay that he died in the first 25, 30 minutes. And if they do something like that epic enough with a character like Laurie Strode, I'm okay with her dying like that. Same thing with Nev Campbell, but I don't want it to be something like Drew Barrymore at the beginning of Scream, where it's the first 7 to 10 minutes tops. It
Yeah,
has to be at least like a half hour to or halfway through the movie they
I
die.
think they
You know
used
what I mean?
I think they used Drew Barrymore for Scream 1 because the people that were in it were no names at the time.
Oh, and horror was dead, and they
And
were trying to
and
market it.
Horror was dead. So they used for marketing purposes. They made it seem as if Drew Barrymore was a lead actress in it because she was the only like she was at that time she was the only person that anybody really knew, which was a brilliant move on their part. It was great,
Super brilliant, and
you
you
know.
don't have to do that kind of fake marketing with Michael Myers. I mean, people
Yeah,
are going to go see it. So, at least now, since the movies have been well received. What if she died halfway through the movie? Would you be okay with that?
I mean, I guess it depends on how it happens, man. But again, this is a you don't have Halloween without Jamie Lee Curtis, and you don't have it without Michael Myers. I don't think you can really have I don't think you can really have it where she dies in the middle of it either. I just, I
Don't
mean,
you? Hey, don't the best of all the Halloween movies, 4, 5, and 6 don't have Jamie.
it'll have to be something that really, really adds to the story and makes it even better. I don't know.
No, I mean, I agree. I don't want it to be disrespectful. It needs to be something to where it's like,
And I kind of feel like she wouldn't have signed on to that if that was the whole agenda.
I think that she would sign on for something epic. She's like, do we have an awesome showdown or something? Or if she dies while he dies, something like that. You know what I mean? Like if she dies killing Michael, I think she'd do that. I don't think that she'd sign on to just get killed off in the beginning. I
Or
don't.
or or maybe she pulls a Nick Fury and fakes her death, and at the end, it's like, guess what, Michael?
Halloween triumphant.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a guy watching this that'll definitely get that. He'll get that joke for sure. um, look. I definitely think that one of them is going to die. for sure. You can't have both. You can't. I don't think that it's going to be it ending that he's on the run again and that she's alive. Either
No,
he's on the run again and she's
no,
dead.
that's not ending it. Like I said,
Right.
one of them
Right.
has to die, if not both.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Wholeheartedly. Concordedly. Vis-a-vis.
And I, like I said, I'm okay with it being Lori dying. And that ends the saga between those two.
Yeah. I What about Allison? Is she available to die? What if it just really tosses Lori over the edge and she loses her granddaughter too?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm sure they would make that. I'm sure that they would write that and make that be a tragic moment. But to be honest, I mean, she's not as beloved in the whole Halloween franchise
Sure.
as Laurie Strode. So
But
you
it
know,
would do something to Laurie Strode's character,
yeah, for sure,
hardened her if Allison died for sure, yeah.
yeah. But didn't you say that there was a there was some sort of like a screening, up
New
somewhere,
Jersey screening, yep.
New Jersey screening, like what do they call it? The
It
uh,
was just an audience test screening.
yeah, test screen, and rumor got out, after that it was more of kind of a they seem to be focusing way more on Allison's character and what she's going through now rather than Laurie Strode's character.
No, I don't think it was rather than, I just think that they're giving her more of a bigger part. I don't think it's like they're like tipping the scales for Laurie so they can add more Allison. I think that they're just making her a bigger integral part of what's happening in this movie. That's from what I understand. I don't think that they're swapping.
Right, right. I think when you told me that, I was like, well, that doesn't bode well either. Like, I don't want to know that Laurie Strode is taking second place to her granddaughter now. It's not about her granddaughter. It's about
No,
Jamie.
no, no, no. That's I think we only see Allison twice in the trailer here. And then at the very beginning, or in a second, you see her standing in front of this car, and
Well,
I'm
they can
trying
show
to.
what they want in the trailer. That's gonna
Right,
be
but
it.
what I'm saying is that Laurie's all over the trailer.
Right. And I don't think it is what I read it to be when you told me that. When you said that the rumor got out that
Gotcha.
it seems to be heavily focused on Allison and not so much on Jamie Lee Curtis. And I was like, well, that's stupid. But I,
The
I don't
the
I don't think that I don't think it's quite that.
the non-disclosure comments that I read were all based on like journalists reporting on the way the audience was reacting. Does that make sense? Like they weren't telling you how they thought it was. They were saying based on this is that the audience was crying, the audience was cheering, the audience was clapping. The audience seemed to have a really good time. There were funny moments here and there, just like there were in the other two movies. But overall, it seemed to have positive response. Like people weren't, and those test screenings, people are encouraged to boo. They're encouraged to be vocal because
Man, I
they
want to get on one
really
of
want a
those. How
response.
do we get on one
Huh?
of those?
Shit, I don't know, dude. I think you genuinely have to be involved with some sort of have a press screening pass, like a you know what I mean? Like you have to have what's his name?
What
Why
do they
am I
want?
drawing
Do they want journalists in there? Or do they want just
You gotta have PewDiePie subscribers.
do they want journalists in there, or do they or movie critics in there for these test screenings, or do they want just no? You can't have any credentials. You just got to
Yeah,
sign.
I think no, I don't know about that. I really don't know. I think that you can get them in a number of ways, but I do know that they let journalists in there, but I don't know if they're movie review journalists. Maybe they're just the people that I just read on this. I'd be lying if I knew exactly how those test screenings work, but I know that they're not easy to get into. Like the test screenings that we've gone to are pre-screenings. Those are just
Yeah, those aren't test screenings. We've just
no.
we've
The
just gotten
movie's
advanced,
done at that point.
yeah, you and I have just gotten like advanced screening tickets or something like that.
Right.
Watch
The
it before
test,
it's actually released, kind of thing.
yeah, this one is like
Yeah,
they
this
still
one,
have time to make changes.
yeah, this one they can make changes based on what they got reviewed. Yeah, for
And
sure.
from what I understood, that they don't feel the need to make any changes because it was well received.
Interesting.
Um,
Hey, my brother made a comment. What did he say? I was in the middle of having a moment talking.
No problem. We got a couple of comments here. So we have, she definitely won't go down without a badass fight if she dies. That's from
Yeah. Oh,
Jacob.
for sure. Yeah.
And then William Brown, little Mr. Cody said, I really think that they both die together, which I think that we think that's a good chance. And also Channing Tate Yum. uh, which is, I mean, I love it. Keep them coming, Cody, for sure. Um, but look at this shot right here. So after this, like, nice blues and reds right there. Looks like Jeff was in the room. Um,
The blue lights.
yeah, no, right. I love it though. Um, it's probably cops or something. But then, so look at this. Michael right here is
Now look at
about
that mask. Look at that
oh,
mask.
all battered and bruised. He's about to stab something here for sure. And then it looks like feathers pop out of there. It's like, what are you having to eat chickens to survive? Maybe. But or it could be a pillow.
No, that I bet that's some sort of like a decoy. Like he thought that was,
That's what I'm saying.
he thought that was her, and they stabbed it, and it's not.
And she put a pillow up in there.
Yeah.
But then we got a reverse of that beginning shot that we looked at, the one where he's like kind of standing right here looking at her.
Yeah.
Oh, then, dude, right away we get this one right here. She's around the corner, which God, that feels like the first movie. It feels so much like the first movie.
Totally. Yeah.
And then, dude, just the way David Gordon Green makes Michael look so cold, man. I love it. Like he looks like there's no one in there. You know what I mean? Like this hollowed, just destructive force. I don't know, just very scary to me.
Yeah, it's interesting to it's interesting to think about the what different directors and writers thought of what would be a scary Michael. You know, like zombie wanted this guy with straggly hair sticking out of his mask. You know,
And it worked.
just unkept. You know, and then you got that one where the guy looks like he's it almost looks like he's a more a shorter but more fit.
Well, he looks like the first movie.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Well, and that's also too. Think about this one. So like Zombie, his Halloween took place in the 2000s. It starts when he's a baby in the 70s, whereas and he kills his family in the 70s. Whereas in the original movie in the 70s, he kills his family like in the 50s or the early 60s. And then the rest of the movie takes place in the 70s. So it was just Rob Zombie, like, let's just retell it today. And he made that big brute Tyler Mane, 7.5 feet tall dude, And so I think for that today's 2000 Michael Myers, Rob Zombie, I think it worked perfectly. But for a 40 years down the road, Michael Myers, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the one I need to see because and also this one is supposed to be connecting to the first film. So
Right.
I like this older man who's still strong. You know what I mean? To me, that's scary. So was Rob Zombie's, but that was more just like this brute force that could like rip open doors and
Well,
stuff.
that's why Zombie did that, because in Zombie's mind, and Rob Zombie's mind, he was like, I'm not trying to make a supernatural film. I'm not trying to
Yeah, Jensen.
she's like, and Rob Zombie's mind, he's like, I'm not trying to make some supernatural film. I just want this guy to be so big and so overpowering. That is why he's able to do what he's doing.
That's why he can take it. Yeah,
Right.
that's why he can actually survive some bullets
That was,
because
that was his rendition. This rendition, again, is still kind of like, can you guys explain the beating he took and he just gets back up at the end and just hacks them all?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There isn't a lack of explanation there, but for some reason, it just, like I said, when I first saw the end of Kills, I was kind of like, I'm not sure. I think you remember when we're sitting there on the couch, we're kind of like, what just happened? But then the next day, as I was stewing over it overnight and losing sleep, I rewatched it and I almost immediately rewatched it. And I was like, I dig this. I love it. So like I'd be lying if I said it wasn't working for me, but I also see where you're coming from because the Rob Zombie one made it. Rob Zombie was trying to take a real approach for the most part. The whole thing where Laurie and him are mentally connected. And so when she's a vegetarian and he's eating the dog and she's eating the pizza that has meat, you remember that part?
Yeah.
Like that was a little out there. And the white pony thing, that's a little out there.
Yes.
But like him surviving in the woods and stuff like that, I mean, that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like There were parts of Rob Zombie's part 2 I didn't mind, but his part 1 I adore. I think it's fantastic because it's a great approach to this is how I would do Michael Myers.
Right.
Didn't change anything. Just this is how I would do it. And what this one is good about is that this one actually David Gordon Green's I feel like successfully adds to the original lore a little bit, whereas Rob Zombie was trying to retell it. This actually adds to it.
Right. No, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Whereas the other ones, like part 2, part 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, those weren't really adding to anything. They were just trying to market off the success of Michael
You're right.
Myers.
Yeah,
They
especially part
didn't add
3.
shit.
Especially part 3.
Wait, hey, you watch your mouth, sir. You watch your mouth, sir. I had this ready to go because I was ready
You
to
knew
bring
I
it
was gonna say something.
up. Yes. Yeah. I like part 3 for what it is, but it's not a Michael Myers movie. So there you go. But yeah, switching to keeping going though, right? Oh, dang, meant to show this one. Yeah, but Michael's got her strangled up here now. It looks like this is going to be in this kitchen scene, and this is how the trailer starts to end. We start seeing them just like really showing down, chawing down, just having a chaw down. So look, part of
Yeah,
me likes.
trying to put her hand in the
Yes.
yeah.
Now look, I would have rathered that trailer sort of end with him flipping on the switch with her hand and then almost trying to put it down. And then it's like, oh shit, he's about to try to do it. And then we get to see Halloween Ends title. But instead, they show that she gets out of it and like knocks him back. And then she's about to get the knife, which this is cool too. But I just hate the fact that we know that, well, her hand's not ever in danger of that drain.
No, no, you don't. You do not know that. The magic of editing, that whole stabbing him in the hand with a knife, man. That could have been that could be 10 minutes earlier or 2 minutes later.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is though, but like you give us this scene of us thinking that maybe her hand's about to go down in there and she pulls away and knocks him back and they step away from the sink. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh,
oh, well, now we know. I'm
yeah.
saying now we know that her hand's definitely not going down the garbage disposal. And
Well,
I wish they would have kept that a little more because, hey, wouldn't it have been great if she even got like this much of her finger chopped off? I mean, that would have been cool
I
because
think
she
he's
still
gonna.
has a hand.
I think he's gonna get enough stabs in there at the end of the day.
Maybe so, maybe so. But man, I got to tell you though, when she picks up the knife and starts coming down on him right there, dude. Already, I mean, that hand is taking some damage, son.
Yeah.
Fingers blown off, burned up, and it's stabbed straight through with a butcher knife. Man, it's beautiful. And then that's when we get this
Yeah,
Halloween
don't
Ends.
forget he walked out of a house that was on fire, like collapsing upon itself. So the guy's got some burns as well as some
Oh yeah,
stabs and I mean, so yeah.
no, and that's another thing they talk about him definitely having to like recover in this movie, and that's why maybe some time has passed. But so that was every shot of the trailer. I literally got every single shot of the trailer we just watched there. So there are some things floating around the internet that the Michael Michael is definitely in this movie, but there might be a moment or two of this movie that we see an imposter Michael. And these are theories. This is nothing coming from David Gordon Green. This is nothing coming from Danny McBride. This is all theories, but a lot of people are coming up with this same theory for some reason.
Why would they have this theory?
I don't know. And I'd have to look at the actual article to see which one, but like they're basically saying that this Michael right here is not Michael. That's what people are saying. So I'm wondering if they're going to do like a Ben Tramer gimmick. Not obviously use Ben Tramer, but like do what they did with the Ben Tramer in part 2 where he gets smashed and killed because it was someone else putting on the Halloween mask, walking around trick or treating. And the
Hmm.
cop car runs into him and kills him. And then they realize, oh, it's Ben Tramer. So like, I'm wondering if they're going to do that gag. And this is all rumors. So, but I'm just letting you know that that's some stuff that people are saying there could be an imposter
That
Michael
doesn't
at
seem to
some
fit,
moment in
that
this.
doesn't seem to fit the style of what David Gordon Green and Dan McBride have been doing for this last, the previous two.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to do that doctor thing where the doctor puts on the mask for a second. Obviously, he didn't keep it on, but you know, they've done a couple things that were slight surprises, but at the same time, in hindsight, looking back, all of it works very well. You know what I mean? None of it feels like, "Oh, why'd y'all do that?" Even the riot at the hospital in part 2.
Yeah, that was one of my critiques, I guess, about it is that they for some reason somehow a mob of people believe that old man in the hospital who looked like he didn't even know where he was somehow Michael Myers, and then
I mean, maybe they could have gotten a better casted person for that, but for what I'm saying, though, is that it just I think that I don't not believe that a town might be losing their grip if something like happened like this, and there's people that have lost their kids
no,
back
I
in the day,
no,
or
I believe that. I believe that for sure. It was just kind of
it's just the casting.
it was just maybe it was the casting of it. I don't know. Maybe they should have made that. Maybe they should have made that actor who portrayed that character a bit more menacing,
Yeah,
and
bigger dude or something.
why they believed that it was him rather than some guy who's obviously had lost his mind and
Looked like he couldn't do shit.
just looked too weak to have possibly been Michael.
You know, that guy was standing on the checkerboard in the first movie in 2018 when they go see Michael, and they show him the mask at the very beginning of the movie, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Michael,"
yeah,
and all the people start freaking out. He's one of the guys on there that starts freaking out. So, like, they try to keep the continuity in there, like the nurse and the doctor that get killed in part 2, they're in the first one walking across the street, getting in their car. You think Michael's about to kill him, but then they get in. So,
mhm,
like, they do good job with that continuity. Like, it feels like it's planned, which I think it was. Um, we got a little comment here. Like, so William said, then he took out firefighters like they were nothing. Like the fake Batman in Dark Knight. Oh yeah, that's what he. Yeah, like they remember the fake Batman in the Dark Knight at the
yeah.
beginning, and
We're
then
just trying
Bruce
to
comes
help
there.
you.
"Yeah, but I'm not wearing hockey pads." Remember that's what he says. Yeah, it's so funny. That's that voice. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, man, did you have to go that hard with that voice, Christian? Which, by the way, saving grace of Thor: Love and Thunder is Christian Bale.
Yep.
Um, but anyways, I just wanted to show you more, couple more things. I mean, you guys tell us what you think some of your theories are. They both, and I know we already got Jacob and Cody's thoughts on it, but are they both going to die? Is Lori going to kill him and she going to survive? Is Allison going to die? Is Lori going to die and Michael live? I mean, is it going to be a bad ending, a happy ending? Um, I'm curious to see what people think, and put them in the comments later on too.
Well, before we wrap this up, what is if you had to gun to your head, if you had to choose how you think it's going to end?
Um, you know, part of me wants to see it end on a really bad note, but I think that I think that they'll make it to where you'll feel like they both die, Jamie Lee and Michael, but maybe have the breathing at the very end and Allison or survive or something like that. Remember, because at the very end of the first one, the credits, you hear the maybe something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because I also wouldn't put it past them to kill her and then have Allison kill Michael. I mean, I really wouldn't put that past David Gordon Green and them to make us to not worry about just fan service, to try to create something that's like a page turner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, a great
I would
novel, people die.
I would not hate Allison being the one to kill Michael, as long as it's not like an hour after. If we're talking about a 2 hour movie, Jamie Lee dies in the first hour, and then the last hour is Allison kill. I would rather it be they're all three in the room and they're all you know struggling, fighting, whatnot, uh, and then and Michael gets a cheap shot or gets a good shot on Jamie Lee, and then Allison within a matter of seconds gets this a knife to the freaking to the skull, or takes his head off or something like that. Like an immediate, like, oh, you know that would be okay. That's cool. Allison got revenge on the mother, and it happened almost immediately. It wasn't like I've been
What if
fighting. It wouldn't be like,
what if she finds Laurie somewhere and then she's like when she finds like that picture where it looks like she's screaming, she sees Laurie like dead. And she's like, that's it. And she just like goes on the hunt and go gets him and she finds him or whatever. You know what I mean? And then, like, I'm not saying that the whole movie is that. I'm just saying, first off, David Gordon Green doesn't make longer than 90-minute movies. So it's going to be an hour and a half.
I mean, that would be a great story for sure. But
First
man,
hour she dies, last 30 minutes is Allison.
but you want me to believe now you're talking. You want me to believe that Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie Strode has been planning this whole thing. She's been waiting for him to come to her year in and year out for 30 plus years, and she dies, and her granddaughter, who didn't even believe this whole thing, is going to be the one to take him out. No,
I'm she's younger, man. There's younger athletes come in and get the old dudes all the time in the game and put them out. You know, so maybe she is so pissed that she's lost her mom, her dad, and her grandmother to this serial killer that maybe she's just ready to lose it all and she gets the upper hand. Maybe she has the high ground.
you underestimate my powers.
I hate you. I mean, look, I don't know how it's going to go as far as if she dies, when she dies. I just know that I trust in David Gordon Green to do it believable. You know, as long as he didn't have any more head popping kills. So Jennifer says she doesn't think Michael's going to die.
No.
Oh, look at this. Michael is Tom Brady.
There it is.
And my buddy Pilch Daddy, he just asked me to do the Bane. He said, theatricality and deception. Powerful agents to those uninitiated. But we are initiated, aren't we, Bruce? Members of the League of Shadows. All right, that was it.
You now have my permission to die.
Yeah. Now you have my permission to die. All right.
Actually, I think that Michael is going to stand there and he's going to take his mask off, and it's going to reveal
that it's Darth Vader.
That it's Jamie Lee's face.
Oh yes,
a la Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, it was Jamie all along. That bitch. Oh man. So I was going to show these one more thing right here. Got some fan posters up there. That was pretty sweet with the knife and then the bloody mask. But see, I have a feeling it ain't going to be like that.
No.
Or what if Michael does get it in the eye with a knife? That'd be awesome. This one person messed up on the date down here. They put 2021 instead of 2022, but that one's awesome just because it's reminiscent of the original film, even the
with
shirt
the knife,
that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But it's got his jacked up face from the new movies, and it says the night she sent him home, not the night that he came home. Well, that's pretty cool. This one is I like it, but it needs a little less skull in there because it's hard to tell that it's Michael involved in there. You know what I mean?
That totally looks like a skull right there, not a Mike Myers mask.
Like, I wouldn't mind if you saw the teeth right here of it burned out or whatever, and the rest of it was Michael Myers, but it barely can see Michael Myers in there. And then this one, another classic one. I just think it's great. But I just wanted to give some love to those posters, man, because these came out immediately this morning, dude. Like, as soon as I got online, all these posters were made because people are pumped up about that trailer. But, man.
Here we are working with a guy. It took him 6 months to get us a poster.
Where you at, Clint?
Yeah.
Kidding. This poster's awesome.
I
kid. Which, by the way, this is the poster right here.
That's right.
Oh, snappers. Yeah, so we could have a better graphic.
Not Halloween inspired or not? You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, that music, that's some of the music for it right there. And that's just one little part after you've heard a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, everything's, like I said, from Andrew's script to just little Easter eggs we tried to plant in there visually, to sound effects, to just all kinds of stuff, to the names of the characters. We try to just send homages to everything, but especially Halloween and Scream. Those were we focused more on that than we did.
I mean, I feel like it's an original story, but
oh, definitely.
You know, but and it's gonna. I think it's gonna It's gonna be well received, I think.
Like, you
Um,
remember when back in the day on the videos, like, you'd be in the video store and it'd be like, "If you liked The Matrix, you'll love
oh
this."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be if you liked Halloween and you like Scream, you will like Lake.
Then welcome to Lake
Yeah,
Court. That's
sure.
that's my stuck-up nerdy preview voice guy, the super dude that's like, "If you liked Halloween, then welcome to Lake Court." Terrible. Oh, well, hey guys, thank y'all for joining me, man. Thank you for joining Andrew. We love y'all so much. And look, you guys send some comments on and talking about the tank top because God, I haven't been able to take my eyes off it this whole time. Yes. Oh man, what is that? Oh, that's the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
First, I
Well,
thought that was Body Glove. Remember Body Glove? They still make that?
beats me.
Yeah, beats me too. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all again. I appreciate y'all so much for joining me. And remember, if life gives you lemons,
Make some
make
monster
fish
popcorn.
popcorns.